Hi dancers, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be targeting senior dancers and we're going to be talking about restorative ballet. Today's little class is going to be a snippet out of my senior program for restoration and helping dancers with aging bodies go back to dance or continue through and be happy with the bodies that they are in now. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, and comment, because little things like that actually make a big difference to spread the awareness of dancer body acceptance, injury prevention, and a positive dance world. Items needed for today's exercises. You're going to need a resistance band. It doesn't have to be super heavy, and you're also going to need a stability ball. If you don't have one of these or you don't feel comfortable sitting on one, a chair with your hips being above your knee level is perfectly fine. Do not sit on anything though that makes you sit back or that brings your knees up higher than your hips. I want to talk today first about alignment, and we're going to really focus on our deep breathing as well as core activation and understanding what optimal alignment is. I think that a lot of us, when we think perfect posture or good posture, we think of somebody who's standing up very straight with their chest lifted, and oftentimes that image throws our weight and our balance backwards and puts stress on irregular parts of our bodies. So, as a dancer, no matter what age you are, you want to think about these key points of alignment. If I'm sitting here on my stability ball and everything is perfectly aligned, I'm going to think of the inside of my ear being directly over my shoulder. So that means no forward head posture. Otherwise, it will change your balance and everything that falls below that part of your body. So ear is above the shoulder. And if you do have forward head posture, don't worry, we are going to work on something a little bit later in this class, how to actually address and help that forward head posture. So we're thinking ear over shoulder. Shoulder is going to be through the ribs. So if you're thinking the middle of your rib cage, right here where that line of your leotard or seam of your shirt is, that's where we want the middle of the shoulder to fall through. And then lastly, the part of the upper quadrant here that we're talking about, key points, you want the ribs to fall directly above the top of your hip bone here, the iliac crest. Now obviously everyone's not going to be perfect, but what we're doing here on the stability ball to start our class today and warm our bodies up is trying to engage our core and get those components of your alignment to stay in alignment. So whether you're doing this sitting on a chair, or if you are sitting on a stability ball with me, or maybe you just want to stand up and do it, it doesn't matter. You want to line those key points up the same. So the first thing we're going to do is big belly breathe. So we're going to inhale and fill our bellies up with air. You're going to go ahead and just arch your back and then exhale and try to line those key points up. For me, it's really hard for me to not open my ribs, so I really have to think about the diaphragm activating and those lower core muscles activating so that my ribs don't open up and that they can stay in alignment. So we're just going to pelvic tilt forward, breathing, exhale, find the alignment as best you can. And inhale and exhale. Relax out of it and exhale. Relax and exhale. And relax and exhale. And let's go ahead and exhale. Hold through here, the transverse abdominis. Bring those arms up if you're able to. Try to find those key points of alignment. And just hold and breathe normal. And let's go ahead and just open one arm to the side. Come back in. Try to keep that alignment as best as you can. Open to the side and come back in. Exhale when you feel like your core loses activation, and exhale, come back in, check in with your profile view, make sure you're not like this or anything totally out of whack, and just keep alternating those arms to warm up the core and find your center and your alignment today. Keep alternating through first position with the arms. You're doing great. Keep breathing. Remember, breathing really helps us hold our alignment. That's super key. Okay, and relax. And if you want to just take a little bit of a rock on your stability ball, or just rock your pelvis forward and back, that's all good too. The next exercise I'd like to address is called chin tucks. And while a lot of people do this exercise wrong, it is extremely functional when used properly and when performed properly. It can help with things like osteoporosis and the degenerative effects of that forward sloped posture and kyphosis. No, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to just completely reverse that, but we can prevent by training our muscles from that getting worse, as well as opening up those neural pathways between your brain and body and say, hey, we're trying to fight against this going forward more. So there is a degree of help that you are giving your body by staying true to these exercises. So the way I love to teach chin tucks is I love to do it sitting down, and I also love to do it with a resistance band. Now, a lot of people, when they hear chin tuck, they think of going like this and their neck goes into extension. And we have to understand the different movements that our cervical spine or our head, our neck, is actually able to do. So first, our rotation, right? We can rotate our head. And in order to spot effectively in ballet class, you have to be able to rotate your head. The other is flexion and extension. Now, there's retraction and protraction. Retraction is when your neck retracts. It's an actual tucking down of the chin, and the translation is sliding back. So if you think of the vertebrae stacked on top of each other, it's not going like this and opening up the vertebrae to the back. You're actually, instead of your vertebrae sitting on each other slightly forward, you're pulling it back and saying, hey, I want you to be stacked on top of each other. We're sliding you back into place. So if you think of, you smell something, double chin, that is a chin tuck, and that is the exercise you're going to be working on with me. And then protraction, of course, is forward head posture. So we're trying to take you out of protraction and pull you into retraction and line up that ear with the side of the shoulder. If it doesn't line up because of degenerative forces, please don't panic. You activating the proper muscles, the emphasis on that retraining is creating some progress and help to your body. You can do this exercise with the resistance band, or you can do it without if you're really struggling to feel. However, the resistance band isn't to bulk up your neck. It's actually being used as a method of kind of like a tactile input back here, saying, hey, we're gonna do this. We're trying to go back, okay? We're not going forward, so we're gonna fight against the force that's pulling us forward, which is the resistance. So you put this around your head, and your arms are gonna go straight in front as much as you can. Now try to keep those shoulders down. I don't want you to be like this. That's not going to create the motion you want. Shoulders have to be down. So if your head's forward, shoulders down to start, and arms don't have to be super sky high. They can be a little bit lower than that. And then you're gonna think of smelling something and retract back as you do that motion. So you're going 1, and it's hard to talk when I retract. If you do retract correctly, it's gonna be hard for you to talk as well. So go ahead and try this a couple times, and we're gonna do it 10 times, counting through the reps. Okay, let's go ahead and start and try to count through these reps together. Ready? And we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And if you feel like back here was working and a little bit in the back of your shoulders, then you've got a good idea that you are doing it correctly. If you're struggling with that exercise, feel free, take a video of yourself and email it to me. Next, we're gonna come to standing and work more on aligning our posture and opening up our chest, because as we get older, all of us are not immune to the effects of gravity, so we all start to go forward. And we want to open things up and try to get back into that optimal alignment. So standing in parallel, we're gonna go through some checkpoints here and get those arms glued to your side. Now we're not doing this. Be very careful that you're not pushing your shoulders and your ribs forward like this. This is not a rib thrust. It's also not a lumbar thrust. Those things should be quiet while you're doing this exercise. So thinking key points, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Arms are glued to your sides, and what you're working on is rotation at the shoulder joint, which is gonna help open up our posture. So our wrists are glued as well. From your thumb to your wrist to your elbow, there should be no breakage in your movement, okay? So if you just think of a line through here, that's not moving. The only thing that's moving is your shoulder. So just place your arm to the side and rotate out, and then you might feel something right here and you're like, okay, that's enough, and then come back out of it. If you have biceps tendonitis or any kind of problem with your rotator cuff, I strongly urge that you are fully cleared from all physical therapy before you do this specific exercise. And if you're not ready for this, keep going forward in the video and skip to the next part. So we're gonna take our hands, our thumbs are gonna be up. So it's like you're holding candlesticks and you're held here. We're gonna rotate out with our shoulders, not our chest, and come back in. Very small movement. Watch as I do this. Again, you can see I'm really trying hard not to move my rib cage. I'm working from the shoulder joint. So I'm trying to condition my external rotators of the shoulder. Let's do 10 here. And we have 1. Think of your head posture as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Toss that off to the side. If you think of ballet, you are in a slightly rotated externally position with your shoulders. Shoulders aren't internal, they're externally rotated. So let's talk about our hips and getting into turnout now. And we're gonna stand in parallel to start with a combination going tendu front parallel to flex your leg. Now hand on the hip, and you're gonna feel that hip bone rotate out and go forward and tendu and slide it back to parallel. When we're doing this, it's not about the ankle moving and then coming back. Your ankle's not moving at all. It's frozen from your ankle to knee to hip. The hip gets to rotate, come back in, nice tendu, and then slide it back to parallel. We're only gonna do this to the front today because I really want you to feel the connection from the leg all the way up through the hip, and that your ankle is staying in alignment with your knee and your hip. So it's one piece. If you had stilts or a wooden leg, it's all gonna rotate out together in one unit, no segments. So the middle toe, the second toe, is gonna go directly through the middle of your ankle, middle of the knee, and then stays in line with the front of the hip bone. And as you rotate, you feel this here, rolling in and out, and then close. In parallel, keep your feet your hip distance. If you're 5 foot, your parallel is not going to be out here. Your parallel is also not going to be here for anyone because no one's hips are that close. You're going to be right underneath where your hip bones are personally telling you to be. So ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. We have tendu front and flex and rotate out, in tendu and close. Other side, and flex, rotate out, rotate in, tendu out, and close, out, 2, and flex, and out, and in, tendu, close, and out, and flex, segment of the foot, and out, and in, tendu, and close, again, out, and flex, rotate out, in, tendu, and close, out, and flex, and out, and in. Let's go a little bit faster. Out, flex, out, in, tendu, close. Let's have a nice bend. Up, out, flex, out, in, tendu, close, tiny bend, and up, out, flex, rotate, in, tendu, close. One more time, other side. We have tendu and flex, rotate out and in, stretch and close, plie and stretch. Okay, great work. Now that we've kind of felt the connection at the top of our hips where our turnout is initiating, every single person's turnout is going to be different. And if you're looking at an old ballet technique book, you're going to see illustrations that are completely flat and turned out, and it's going to tell you that's how you're supposed to perform your positions. In the real world and in the modern society that we live in, that is very unrealistic and unattainable for most anatomical bodies, especially aging bodies. So for your turnout today, come back to what we just did. You rotate it out. If that feels comfortable for you, find the rotation on each leg, and then place your feet together in first. As a beginner dancer and as an aging dancer, take your turnout back. It doesn't matter how much turnout you have right now. The alignment points are super important, and that your lower leg muscles, everything is working together. As you get more skilled and you've been doing ballet more, then you can open your turnout up more because your body will respond to your proper training that you started with. So standing in first position, you're probably going to look like it's a V, and you're going to point from that V. You're going to follow your toe. If my toe is pointing this way and I'm doing a tendu to second, that is where my turnout is according to what my hips are going to allow me at this point. It's very important that you look at what I'm saying here. I'm stacked with my proper alignment as best as I can be. When I tendu, both hip bones are pointing to the front, and that's not going to change as you tendu side. And then as you close, again, it doesn't change. Hip bones are still to the front. If you need the extra balance and support, by all means, put your bar horizontally. I'm actually going to show you the combination from this angle so that you can see how little turnout I'm going to use for you and how I'm really just focused on holding the alignment of the hips and really pulled up through that standing side. So all we're going to do 8 tendus to the side on each foot, and that is it. So let's start with our left foot, and we're going to stand in first position. 5, 6, 7, 8. We tendu out and in. Tendu out. Squeeze the inner thighs as you close. And out. Exhale. And in. Squeeze. And out. And in. Out. And in. And out. And in. And out. And in. One more. Out and in. I'm going to go ahead and turn my bar this way so you can see me from another angle, and we'll repeat it on the other side. 5, 6, 7, 8. We have tendu and in. That's 1, 2, and in. 3, and in. You're squeezing as you close. 4, stretching, squeezing. Extend off the top of the foot and close. Don't crunch the toes under. It's a stretch of the toes outward. And out and in. You can test your balance. Out and in. Out and in. One more time. Out and in. Good. We're going to keep the bar like this, and we're actually kind of working in a very strange order today, but we're going to do pliés next, using those good principles that we have established with our turnout. You're going to be in first position only today, and you're going to do a plié. When we plié, your knee is going over your second toe. So if you watch me from the side, and my alignment is optimal, my points up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now, lower leg. We're going down, down, down. This is all active. You're feeling the support here. My knee is going in line with my hip, and my knee is going over my second toe. If you imagine a wall in front and a wall behind, you don't want to touch that wall. So if I'm doing a plié incorrectly, and I'm flexing at the hip joint, and now my knees are not going in the right order, my alignment here is not in the right order, this is not correct. So put your hands on the front of your hips. If you feel like you're flexing at the hip, that is not what you want to be doing with a plié. So when you plié, you should only go as far as you're able to maintain the activation here and the alignment. And that means you can think of being flat in the front of the hips, not flexed. And you don't want to be an extension either. A lot of people will go down, they come up, they squeeze their bum, and they thrust their hips forward. If you're feeling a ramp this way, also not correct. So place these hands here, and we're going to do demi-pliés only in first position, focusing on your alignment and your ability to feel your personal turnout and your hips. First position, 5, 6, 7, 8. Demi, 2, 3, 4. Up, squeezing between the legs. We relax. 2, 3, 4, and exhale to activate. 7, 8, and relax. 2, 3, 4, and exhale. 6, 7, 8. Relax. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 6, 7, 8. Now let's go down. And we're gonna stay down. And I want you to think of really squeezing even slower between these legs. Pelvic floor should be working here. And you should not grip in your buttocks. And relax. Good job. Next, we're going to transition into working on your balance and your stability. As an older person, your balance in your inner ear is naturally going to degrade, which means our balance is worse and our fall risk is greater. No one wants that. So let's work on stimulating your equilibrium or your state of being balanced by doing some of these really simple exercises. Today, you're either going to hold on with both hands at the bar, and again, optimal alignment check is always going to be in the back of your mind when you're working with me, and hopefully it transfers to your everyday life. But what we're going to do is we're either going to have both hands on the bar and practice single leg balance. You can do one hand on the bar, or if you're really feeling like you're a more advanced level of a senior dancer, then no hands on the bar is also perfectly acceptable. Just keep something nearby you because I will throw a few variations at you to challenge your vestibular system a little bit more. Variation 1, both hands on the bar. You're gonna draw your foot up in parallel from coup de pied, that's coupe, slide it up to your knee. You're gonna shake your head no, really nice and slow, and then come back down. Then you're gonna switch to the other side. Variation 2, intermediate dancer. You're gonna do the same thing. Slide that leg up to your knee. This time, we're gonna shake our head no, but you're also simultaneously going to lift one hand off the bar and slide back down. That arm will be the same as the leg that's up. Variation 3, your advanced dancer. You're gonna go ahead and slide up to coup de pied and then passe. Take both arms off. You're in first position here and you're gonna shake your head no. And if you want to add more challenge, try to do 2 shakes instead of 1, because the faster you can stimulate your head to try to keep that equilibrium, the harder it's going to be for you. I don't recommend doing more than 2 head shakes in the time that we're doing this exercise. Choose your variation and let's go ahead and begin. 5, 6, 7, 8. Coupe, passe, shake, and slide back down, switch, and up, and head turn, and slide back down to switch. Slide it up, and head turn, and slide back down, switch, and up to head turn, and slide back down, and switch, and up, and head turn, and slide back down, switch, and up, and head turn, and slide back down, and relax. Good. Next, we're gonna do some simple heel raises. The alignment I wanna point out is that your lower leg is in alignment while you're doing heel raises. So that means no supinating and no pronating of the ankles. If you think of that middle of the ankle joint, right through the center, between the 2 bones, that has to be in line with your middle of your foot and the second toe. That will then extend up to being in line with the middle of your knee. Still thinking about our alignment from head to hips, everything staying in a line, and we're gonna do 8 of these heel raises. Hip width, your personal parallel. 5, 6, 7, 8. Lift up and down, that's 1. Exhale and down, that's 2. Contract at the front of the legs first, then lift, that's 3. Up and down, that's 4. Up and down, that's 5. Up and down, that's 6. Up and down, 7. Up and down, 8. And then go ahead and relax. And we're gonna go ahead and grab our mats now, and we're gonna transition down to the floor. I hope you've enjoyed the first part, and I'll see you on the floor in a few beats. All right, dancers, we're gonna do a quick stretch, and that will be your class for today. The first thing I want you to start with is grabbing onto the top rung of your bar and tucking your toes under behind you. We're gonna go ahead and sit back like our hips are driving towards our heels, and we're extending and stretching out through our arms and through our back. You're gonna exhale and you're gonna come right back up. So you're going inhale, and reach those hips back, stretch, stretch, stretch. Try to keep your neck lifted, not hanging between your arms. So trying to keep that alignment there. Exhale and come up. Keeping your eyes lifted will also help you with this mobility drill. Lift, 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 and up. And exhale to go back. Spine's in neutral, not arched, and up. Arching would be here. And sitting back, and exhale to come up, and sitting back, and exhale to come up. Good. We're gonna keep the bar right here, and the next thing we're gonna do is just take one leg, place it in front of us, and tuck the back toe. All you're gonna do is drive that knee forward. If you wanna rest your hands on the bar, go as far forward as you can keep your hips square, and exhale and come back up. as far forward as you can keep those hips square. Exhale, come back up. And this is 3. And up. 4. And up. 5. And up. And 6. We're gonna do 2 more here. 7. And 8. Good, switch your feet. 1 toe back, 1 toe forward, and we're going into our lunge and up. Keep breathing, inhale, and find the end, exhale. Keeping the spine as long as you can, and up. And in, and up. And in, and up. And 1 more here. And up. Good work. All right, if you do not have any contraindications, i.e. a fusion, you are not going to do this and you're going to skip over it. All you're going to do is slight lift, turn the head, and think at the top of the spine just lifting to go back. Exhale, come back up. Turn your head, exhale. This is a very small bend here. We're thinking of the upper spine lengthening and going back. Don't arch in the low spine, so you're not going like this. You're keeping lifted, active, length. 1 more time. Lift and activate and lengthen. Good. All right, you can take the bar and slide it off out of the way. And we're gonna come down here to the floor next. And all we're gonna do is, if you can lie flat, it's preferred for this exercise, but you're gonna take your arms in front, clasp them together, and we're gonna open up one side until our arm touches the floor. If you're like, okay, well that really doesn't do anything for me, I feel nothing through here, then what you wanna do is allow your legs to drop and turn your head away from this arm. Keep it on the ground. Exhale and come back to center and close both arms. So we're taking one arm to the side, and if you want to add, twist, look away, exhale, back to center. Again, open and rotate. Exhale, use your core to bring yourself back. Nice and slow. And exhale, come back. And open, look away. Exhale to come back. 1 more here, open, look away. Exhale to come back. Good. Bring both legs up into a ball here, and you're just gonna massage your pelvis around in a circle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, opposite way, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Think of massaging your sacrum, your tailbone against the ground. 7, 8, very good. Okay, exhale, bring your spine into neutral, so you're contracting and you're held against the floor. And we're gonna take our legs from a hook lying position to opening them up into a butterfly position, lifting the heels. And make sure if you have had a hip replacement that you are out of precaution window completely before performing this exercise. We're gonna lift our heels. We're gonna hold our cores in neutral, and you can either lie here and make sure that this is all staying in place, let gravity open the hips, or you can bring your arms up and do deep breathing with me here. We're gonna do 4 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you need to help yourself, bring your legs back in with your arms, Roll to your side and then come up so you prevent any dizziness. Cross that leg around, and we're gonna keep the hip down on the floor here. Hug the knee into your chest and look over your shoulder to twist. Stay here. And go ahead and switch your legs. Twist around other side. The spine's long, it's not humping over, so you're trying to keep yourself as long as possible. If you feel the tendency to go back, chin tuck and then rotate. Good, and then go ahead and take your legs from here and open them up to your personal turnout, rotating out at the hip. Contract at the quadricep first, pull the toes back, and then bring yourself forward only a little bit until you can feel anything through here. If you have any kind of spinal issues, you shouldn't be rounding just to touch your chest down on the floor. Your hips and your spine, it's creating a hinge movement, which is going to keep your spine safe. You're keeping that long diagonal angle up through those key points. See here, I'm not rounding. I'm not letting go of my core. I'm activating and I'm trying to lengthen at the same time. Come up, exhale. Inhale and repeat. Go forward only as far as you can keep good spinal alignment. This is not a contest. This is just to get you open through here. Exhale, come back up, wiggle your legs. And one more time, you're gonna do this again. And exhale, good. Go ahead and bring those legs in. We're gonna do one more stretch for your hamstrings. You're gonna come down, bend one knee, keep the back flat and drive the knee up, flexing the foot. Pull those toes back with your hand and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stretch to the point where you feel comfortable. Never holding on the knee. Holding higher is better. And then pulling the foot back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bend the knee. Feel free to use a stretch strap if you want to, or even a long beach towel. Hold here and you're pulling the ankle back into dorsiflexion. Stretching. Grab up higher and we're gonna pump it. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and down. Roll to your side and slowly come up and congratulate yourself because you made it through my class. If you feel like you need to do any additional stretching, you can always run back through those stretches an additional round, or you can increase the hold time up to 30 seconds per stretch. I hope you enjoyed today's routine. If you want more resources for senior restorative ballet and injury prevention, make sure you email me at info@veronicakballet.com. And I do have private lessons that I do custom evaluations online, as well as a full step-by-step senior restorative ballet platform. If you're interested in learning more about any of those programs, scroll down below and you'll also see a list of links as well as a direct link to grab my email and start a conversation with me. Thanks again, and make sure you hit the subscribe button, share, comment, and like, because those little things make a huge difference to spread ballet injury prevention and dance positivity.